right, good. We can get started.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And thank you so much for sending the new drawings to us. We appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah.
And you are the only thing on our agenda. So if you'd like to present the new plans, that would be great.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
And Lydia will help with showing us the drawings as you speak. So feel
Okay.
free to direct her about what you want her to show us.
Sure.
Which one would you like to start with? Which drawing?
Let's see. Trying to think. Maybe just the plan and
Okay.
the cottage. Well, the whole thing, I guess. And thanks for making the time to do an interim meeting too. I know it's not your normal schedule, so thank you.
We're happy to help.
Okay. So let's see. So we met Gordon and Meryl a week ago Saturday, and which was really great and helpful. And so the changes that we made are focused really in, the cottage is really one area, and then the studio is kind of its own thing. But on the cottage, the biggest change is I guess what we're calling the sun porch, the 2 rooms on the end. So the window configuration there.
Mhm.
And small changes in the plan too. We joined 2 utility rooms in the back to make one. It was sort of minor thing, but we wanted to point it out. Where you see the 2 circles, the propane and hot water heater, we just made it 1 closet instead of 2.
Mhm.
And maybe I'll focus on the plan part of the studio before we go to elevation. So Gordon's comments were really about kind of respecting the modern aesthetic and mid-century modern and hugging the ground more. So and looking at proportion as well. So what we did is we moved the cottage about 3.5 feet in plan to the right. So it's a little further away from kind of the main tree that's at the corner near the entry, so that we could grade around it and push it down. Kind of a nice benefit to that too, that we really liked about this, is it helped the outdoor dining room become kind of a little courtyard,
Yeah.
more of an outdoor room. Whereas before, the edge of the studio was sort of defining it, but now it feels like it's got a little bit more of a real edge.
Mhm.
So maybe we can move to the elevations and I can explain what happened with the studio and the other drawing,
Did the plan of the studio change, Kitty?
Oh, thank you. Yes. So the other thing that happened was you advised us to look at the proportion of the space, and went home and kind of looked at it and thought, geez, right now, or the earlier plan, the kind of bigger room was a square, for no particular great reason. And so we looked at that again and decided to stretch it to make it more of the same proportion as the living room. So the exterior dimensions of the studio would sort of fit right into the living room now. They're the same interior space.
Video, I think we lost it. Oh, there we go.
Oh, good. Okay.
Great.
So
Thinking back on the plan that we just saw, I love that plan.
Good.
I like the retaining wall. I like the wing wall that comes off it, the relationship between the 2, principal volumes. I think the plan looks great.
thank you, Gordon.
Thanks.
So looking at the cottage, the sunrooms. So what we had showed before on this end wall, the south elevation, we had kind of a division of 4 rather than 3, which is what you're seeing now. And we also had the head of the door was a little lower. It had a really tiny transom, and the casement windows were about the same. But what we did is we kind of regulated that. We made them all the same, so the heads are aligned,
Great.
and on both sides. And we also, as I said, turned it into 3 instead of 4. It was kind of squeezed. This is a 9'6" maybe on that end. The other is 10'4". So we have 4 on the sides and 3 in the back.
It looks great.
Thank you. And then if you maybe
How much-
scroll or
In looking at the, wait,
Sure.
don't scroll quite yet.
okay.
In looking at this elevation,
Yep.
how much higher is the top of the roof of the studio building than the top of the roof of the cottage.
3 feet. And it had been 5.
Yeah, it looks more pleasing to me.
I think, we really like it better too. And when you see the other elevation of it, I think it'll even be more convincing.
Okay.
Want to move to the next drawing, maybe? Not a lot,
Sure.
not a lot to see on the north elevation, but I think the next drawing will be good.
Lydia, we aren't seeing anything now. No? Oh, we can't hear you, Lydia. You're muted.
I could also share if it's easier.
Yeah, that would be great.
Let me do that. I could do that. Yep.
So let me make you co-host. Hold on.
Okay.
It's only
Let's see. Okay.
okay.
Great. All right. So I have it all in one file.
Wonderful.
Go back to where we were. So are you seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So this is a drawing we were just looking at.
And the next one down is the north elevation.
That's the north elevation. Yep.
I really like the way this all plays together. I like the way the new building kind of anchors it and it all relates well. I feel much more comfortable with this.
Great. We like it too. We liked your ideas.
And
But
I like,
you can start to see in here the, kind of
right.
the slot that's left.
That's a totally plausible change in elevation to me based on kind of mid-century vocabulary.
Mhm. And let's see, so these didn't change that much, but they align with the corner, and these casements are all the same size because they turn the corner. And here you can see a little bit better what's happened at the studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you can see it's longer. I don't know if you remember, but it is longer.
Yeah, good.
and shorter by 2 feet.
Yeah.
And 18 inches of the 2 feet is sinking into the ground. So you can see here that, we moved it over, as I mentioned. Here's that tree that, the edge of the studio used to be here, but we moved it so that we can grade some more because it's really buried. It's really hugging down here.
Yeah.
And it was to allow that to also be, the bottom not visible, that it's really sitting in the ground.
That looks good. I think it looks much more pleasing to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now you say when you look at the fenestration in the original cottage that it was a series of tall, narrow windows.
Yeah, I'll show you actually. I've got a picture of that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Kind
Those
of,
windows are screens.
it was screened. You're right.
Mhm.
It was just these kind of tall
But
division.
it does look like a set of 4. It looks like it was a set of 4. Is that right? Or a separation of 4 spaces on it?
4 on the side and 3 on the south side.
Mm.
So I think there's another picture in here somewhere in that. Let's see. So there's the east. I don't even know if this is our cottage, but it looks like it. So this would be the side facing the woods, the east side. So there's door plus 3. So there's 4 divisions here. We have the door on the south side,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
but we have 4 equal panels
Mhm.
on the east side.
Great.
Is there anything else you want to be the same brown?
Mhm.
But I'm thinking of a gray family, some kind of a gray. But we haven't really picked a color yet. It's interestingly, when we took some of the plywood off one of the sun porches, there was gray up there. I don't know whether it would do the same gray, but you know.
Well, great color is actually not within our purview, but
I was
I like-
curious.
I like the idea of painting it a color that's going to kind of blend in with the surroundings. So
Yeah.
gray sounds lovely.
Makes me think of the pitch pine trunks a little bit, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
Oh,
for
gosh, yeah.
Huh.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I mean, I think we really feel heard, and I hope that you felt that we were respectful of you guys, because you know we tried to be in
Yeah.
every way.
I think it's a better plan. I just, you know, we're really happy. So yeah, thank
great.
you. And thank you for taking the time to come out and talk to us and all that. So
Yes,
that's good.
Speaking of meeting, I wanted to just take meeting at the site. I wanted to just take a moment to read something into the record. Just a synopsis of very briefly of what we talked about there, just so that it's known to everyone and it's completely transparent. So it's regarding 22 Way 55, Wellfleet, Massachusetts, 02667. On March 6th, 2021, I met with Merrill Mead Fox and the owners of the above captioned property. We discussed the planned alterations to the existing structure and the construction of a new accessory structure. We made suggestions as to how the proportions and details of the new accessory structure could be made more sympathetic to the existing structures at the colony.
Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you. And it worked. Great.
Yeah. We really appreciate your being open and flexible about talking about the plans, and I appreciate you making that clear, Gordon, just for the record. So does anybody else have questions about the current design or comments?
I'm comfortable with it. I would move to approve it as presented.
I second that.
Looks very well.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
I agree. All right, so looks like we're ready for a vote.
Thank you.
I vote aye.
Gordon, aye.
Jim, I.
Lydia, I.
Congratulations. You're all
Thank
set
you
to
so
go.
much. Wow.
Can't wait to see it develop.
Yeah, same here.
Come on by.
Gotta get a contractor.
All right, that's tricky up here.
Can we ask you some advice too? So, and this could be part of another meeting if it needed to be. We're just starting to think about whether we want to consider putting solar panels on it and putting them on flat. You know, we don't want to see anything tilted up. And I wonder, is that something that, you know, we should come back to you with, or you have thoughts about? Or I know it's not part of this decision because you haven't seen anything, but what's your thought on that?
We hate the way they
We typically approve most solar projects, but it does have to go on an agenda. It has to be looked at.
Okay,
And since it's not on this one, we can't, all we can say
Okay.
is put it
understood.
on a future agenda.
I've
Okay.
tried to get my arms around liking solar panels because I love what they do.
You know,
And they look how they look, you know.
they do.
But I really, am so in favor of it, and the Tesla roof tiles and any number of things these days
Mhm.
really can help us all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a, it gets a fair amount of sun, and we thought, gee, maybe we should just try to offset the energy here, for how often we use it. So it's something we haven't gone very far on, but we're interested. So when we
Just out
have,
of curiosity, what kind of a heating cooling system are you putting in?
we're going to put in an electric heat pump,
Mhm.
a mini split kind of, units, probably because, the ceilings are so low, we're not ducting anything. We're probably just going to have 2 units, one on each side,
Yeah.
and one in the studio.
Do you know that it's also possible to put the vents in the ceiling? So you don't have to have a unit on the wall anymore?
Yeah, we talked to someone about that, and we're kind of weighing it. We don't love how it looks in the ceiling. It's this big long thing, and so it's kind of weighing like what looks worse,
Right, yeah.
You could put them in a cabinet,
Mm,
which could be nice, and then you have the precedent of louvers
That's
in the
right,
project,
right.
and you could kind of maybe borrow some of those details.
That's a thought. Yeah,
That could be really successful, I think.
cool idea.
Mm.
And I think you can get back a bunch
Yeah.
of credits for doing a very efficient split system with solar these days.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
But I often, we put them in cabinets, and we're confronted with this in Manhattan doing apartments,
Yeah.
and in other places too. And sometimes we inherit them from, spec apartment building builders, and we have to find a way to do something with them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't normally just have something hanging on the wall.
Okay. All right.
We can put you on the agenda for the April meeting if you like.
I'm not sure if we'll be ready by then, but let me let you know.
Okay.
And what would you want to see, like a roof plan or? what
Yeah,
would-
basically we just asked for a photograph, and then you can mark on
Oh,
the
where it goes.
image where the panels are going.
Okay. All right. Let me let you know. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Great. All right. Well, good to meet with the two of you, and we'll see you in the
Sure.
future.
Okay. See you around town. Thank
See
you.
you around town. Stop by anytime.
That's right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
I feel like that was my first successful project here.
That was successful.
Well, it was great to have you aboard to consult with them about the history and the ethos of the colony, and appreciate your
No doubt.
piece.
You guys are so open, and they're so open, that it was a pleasure. As I said, Meryl, on the phone the other day, I'm so used to clients not hearing me. I really felt heard this time.
It's great. All right.
All
Okay,
right.
so we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
It's 5:18, and we'll adjourn with everyone's,
Oh, and Jim, you're doing minutes tonight,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, see you soon.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.